County and what state are you in?
I'm in Florida in St. Lucie County.
St. Lucie County. Okay, so you're actually
East Coast.
East Coast.
East
Okay.
Coast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very simply, it's about halfway between Jacksonville and Miami.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, peeling back the layers on these cases, since we have Attorney Elias with us, for anyone who's dealing with a family case, that can get derailed when there's criminal accusations, and certain parents will turn around and make accusations there was some kind of abuse or molestation or something. Generally speaking, that has to be handled before the family cases go on. In the situations where a parent feels that there are, I'm not sure the proper legal term, but false allegations being made, law enforcement comes in and does their job and investigates, and they will eventually clear it, but it takes longer than any of us want. In the case where the other parent is continuously making accusations over and over again, is there any recommendation, generally speaking, of how to handle that situation?
I've had several of those situations that occurs regularly, John. It's more common than what you believe. Um, the way I handle it is every time that, let's say, the mother comes in and falsely accuses the father repeatedly of the same the same fact pattern, I let the judge know every time I walk in there. We've had this before. We had this 3 months ago. Same fact pattern. Here was your ruling, and I try to lay the groundwork to take that child or children away from that mother and place them with dad. That's my goal. When I have a parent who's doing that, whether it's a father or mother, but usually it's a mother, raising false allegations of domestic violence, sexual abuse, whatever, you've got to educate your judge, basically. Let him or her know, that this is a repeated pattern. Because you have to remember, when you go in front of a judge, at least down here in South Florida where I'm at, and I'm sure all over the state, these judges will look at your file 5 minutes before you walk in, and once you walk out, they forget. They've got so many cases in front on their docket that they can't remember each circumstance. So my goal when I come in is to educate that judge. You're here and let that judge know what that parent has engaged in and why at some point it becomes necessary to take that child away from that parent.
Yeah, and to add to that, because we have another question or comment from Kasasi Swan out of Arizona. I actually wrote another proposal for a bill for this coming session, and I've got actually a sponsor already on the Republican side of the House of Representatives and on the Democratic side that have agreed to accept the bill. It's legislation to address false allegations and paternity fraud. And mainly the false allegations is because we realize that a parent, whether mother or father, can actually go to the DV court and request that 15-day stay away before the 16th day hearing. And once the father or the parent is served, they can't go within 500 feet of the child or the mother, and they're barred from, having even a third party do that. And if they work in law enforcement, which had a dad on here a couple of weeks ago, Carlos, out of a Miami-Dade police officer, he was able to recant that. If you're a doctor, a realtor, a mediator, a lawyer, if you have a terminal license in the state of Florida and you face a domestic violence charge, it's almost detrimental to your livelihood, because if the judge, in an abundance of caution, rules in favor of the petitioner in a DV case, you actually, if you're a police officer, your gun is removed from you. You can't work. You're either put on desk duty or removed from duty altogether, depending on the severity of the allegation, until that DV is lifted. And the biggest fear, I remember when I went through it, I was falsely accused as well during my case. My biggest fear is what would happen if an iota of what this mother accused me of was to be believed by the judge. So it brings an emotional and a mental strain on the father, and not only a threat to his livelihood and the livelihood of his children. It's a very bad thing. And to compound it, if you go to court on the 16th day and the judge finds there's no merit, that parent can wait one more day, go back to court, and file another allegation. 15 days go back by again, the 16th day, no merit. They can go back and bring up something that happened 2 years ago and make another allegation. They can go back and bring up something maybe that happened 2 weeks ago, whether true or false, make another. They can do it 18, 20 times. There is no law in place that's saying that they can do this umpteen times with no merit found against the accused, and there's a retribution to them or a penalty for them doing that, which is wrong. Because when you ask for domestic violence, you're actually putting on that piece of paper that I'm going to the state of Florida and the great governor of this state and the great seal of the state to protect me because I am in fear of my life. If you're not saying that, then you're not getting a domestic violence injunction. So this person is really saying, this great seal of Florida, come protect me from this person. So why in the heck, if 15 days ago you asked for this great protection, on the 17th day, you're back in this person's face and then making the same allegation again the next day. So this new bill that this proposal put forth said that the person goes the first time and gets a no merit for the same person, fully on them. If you go back the second time, fully on the other guy. And if you go the third time and it's proved to be no merit again, and depending on the degree of the allegation, then it's a misdemeanor, punishable by community service. Because we don't want to discourage someone, because people really need to, file domestic violence charges. If you're really in threat of your life, we don't want to victimize someone who is being egregiously trampled on or hurt or threatened. We want them to be able to have this ability to go get a domestic violence relief. But for someone who's making false allegations, it's not okay. It's not okay. And it ruins dads. A lot of dads that have come here on the Good Dad Act committee complain that this happened. So hopefully this legislation goes through, and at least, it won't stop the false allegations. But I think once persons realize, hey, you're going to get a false allegation against somebody and there's no merit to it, then you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're going to have to do community service. You're going to be punished for it to some degree. So you better have your evidence so that you can prove what you're saying. And I think it goes for both sides. It's not just for just a female or for the male, because some men probably do it as well. And it's not okay.